Well guys, after Wednesday and a good performance today, we had a good performance and a good result.
Yeah, we were just talking about where our performance has kind of been a mature one today. We played some really good football in the first half, got ourselves in front. They've made a couple of changes, we've read it, and we've adapted to play a different type of game, which has helped us manage the game, and that's maybe a bit of maturity we haven't had in the past when, or what am I saying, in the past, in a couple of games maybe, when teams have changed us. So we're showing that we've got a second plan if you want to stop our first one.
Yeah, because if you look at that on paper, you think, well, they're bottom of the league, that was just an easy cruise. But they really surprised me. They did not look like a bottom of the league team. That was a tough game. It was so intense.
I think they've been competitive in most of their games, to be fair. I don't think anyone's been battering them, and obviously, you know, they set up quite compact, and it took a little bit of time to break them down, particularly from open play. But I think the real key thing for us was, you know, we're not happy with how many goals we've been letting in. So kind of challenge the boys, just to dig in, keep a clean sheet. Aside from that, don't even let the balls come in our box, and I think we did pretty well on that front.
I think they've made, it would appear anyway, quite a few changes to personnel in their team, haven't they? When we played them last time, they were a little bit different to what we had looked into, and then again today, there were some good players. Not a bad side. They're quite a dogged side.
It just shows what this league's like, though, because obviously coming from the Sussex, or whatever they call it now, but the Sussex version of this league, the teams down the bottom, without being disrespectful, are cannon fodder, and you don't get an easy game in this league.
No, because I was surprised they kept the ball down. They moved it really quick. When that first half, it's like it started and boom, it didn't stop till the whistle went. It was just 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think they're a bad side. If we're perfectly honest, 3-0 maybe a bit flattering. I think we played very well. Don't get me wrong, but we've not kind of ripped them apart and had flurry of attacks. So I think they've done well.
Yeah, because I mean you've got to give them their due, but I think you've also got to give the boys due, because they showed their fitness today, because it was right till the very end they were having to put it in.
I think a good thing that we've shown is our intelligence. Like I said, we've gone behind. We've gone beyond, our plan A, and we've worked towards our plan B. We've gone beyond our plan A and we've worked towards our plan B, and we've done it with ease. I'd say I don't think we struggled to perform it. You know, we recognised what wasn't on, and we made the movements to make our secondary plan on, and we executed. So it's good.
Yeah, because I thought they held it together, because it got a bit handbags of it towards the end, but the boys didn't respond. They just got on with it, held it all together, and saw the game out well.
Yeah, there was quite a good level of discipline, wasn't there, from the boys, and there have been occasions in previous games where we got distracted by stuff, you know, outside of the actual football side of the game. But yeah, no, they were good today. Yeah, but everyone's kept, obviously, you know, unfortunately Frank's got sent off. Can't really comment on that. It's too far away for me to have too much of an opinion on. But you know, he's adamant he was harshly done by. Good professional performance. Everyone concentrated. Everyone stayed switched on, and they kept on coming at us. So done well there, really.
Yeah, it was like the goals. The first 2 goals were virtually identical. Just different scorer. They were great. They looked like that's a set piece you practiced.
I think I said it on Wednesday. We scored from a corner, and I said then that we work a lot on corners, but I couldn't take credit for that one because it definitely wasn't what we asked. But we did ask it this time. We've gone through set pieces a lot. I'm really pleased with it. Working a couple of them.
It was a string we had to go into our bow, wasn't it? Like goals from set pieces, because I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around a third of most of all goals come from dead ball. So if we can chip in like that, it just breaks the other team's resolve, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah, because like I said, and even like Nolly's goal at the end was pleasing for him.
Oh, he meant that.
Yeah, he called it. He said, watch me do this.
Yeah, from 30 yards out.
World class, some would say.
But it's quite good because, okay, again, McCready's not scored today. But you've like last 2-3 games, that's 5 or 6 different players have all contributed.
You know, I said this to the guy who done the interview for
your mate.
Whatever thing. Yeah, on Wednesday, he was talking about goal scorers and.
Is that good? Yeah, I'll have one if you get them in, mate.
He's talking about goal scorers and are we reliant on Trevor? And I said to him, no, we've got more people. We just play to the check. If that isn't on, and people want to mark the game, well, other people then step up, and we've got the plan B, and it showed that today.
Yeah, definitely, and like I said, on Wednesday, so I thought all the boys played well, but again, what showed me was the quality of the squad, because the subs all came on to see that game out, and like I say, okay, Palmby's a bit of a luxury to come off the bench, but again, Reece and Feezy up front, and then Luke coming on and doing his last 5 minutes sort of thing. I think the whole team.
Yeah, still had Dan's here if the situation occurred. Luke said it in his team talk. He said the strength of the bench today is going to be a big factor, and it's, you know, we need to be having a strong squad. Obviously, Wednesday, you know, being a little bit light didn't help the situation, but when you can just reinforce with quality like that, it just makes life a lot easier.
This is what I was saying, there's a difference between having 25 players in a squad and having a strong squad of 17, 18 that you can rely on.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. We discussed with the starting lineup, didn't we?
Yeah.
The impact that the subs would have, regardless of the situation. If we were chasing the game, well, Reece, Feezy, all those players come on and impact it. If we need to shore up the game, well, those players can come on off the legs and quality too. So either way.
And from our point of view as well, like, you know, 2 of them subs were enforced. Obviously, Ward's having to come off, which you don't want that to have to happen. He was having an absolutely great game, but the fact that you can bring Palms on, I mean, it's just great, isn't it, really?
Yeah, because again, like he took that well. He could have said, "Oh, should be starting," but he didn't, and we came on. And
it's just managing fitness levels. You know, we played Wednesday, and it was a really tough game, physically, mentally, and you could see a couple of boys out there struggling and stretching. So we've got players back. Why wouldn't we rest them and be sensible? You know, we could have started Palms and Reece again today, and they could have injured themselves or blown a muscle. It's about managing that for the long term. We've got a good month to come, and we need everyone as fresh as possible.
Yeah, because the other thing that was brilliant, you were talking the other day about how like, the under-23s are doing well, but that was great. You started Zach again, and he's had another good game. You know, it didn't look like he was an under-23. He looked like part of the squad.
Yeah, even you said actually when Wolves came off, he stepped up and he started to take charge of the game.
Yeah, got to be pleased.
What did you make of Wolves' performance from?
So he said earlier.
No, but it is just pleasing seeing like a decent squad where somebody comes off and somebody and the team's not weakened anymore.
It's good for us not to have injuries and unavailability. To be fair, it really helps, doesn't it? You know, you've actually got a full pack to play with, and I think we've used that well, haven't you? You know, Nod's earned his start. Zach deserved to keep his shirt. The boys that have had to step out have took it in good grace, and they've still all played a valuable part. That's what having a squad's all about. We've got a good squad. Just got to try
and we
get
talk about it being depleted, but it's not. We've still got Zeke.
Yeah,
JP.
Yeah,
we still got there's players out. That's what I'm saying. No one wants to be left out weekly. There's no point having 25 in the squad and 8 of them being unhappy, because that starts to ripple through. Rather than keep everyone happy.
Yeah, but I think the other thing is you haven't got a set starting 11. You wouldn't sit there and say this is the 11 and they're the subs. You'd pick any of them.
I said from day one, if you're gonna keep people happy, people need to be playing. For me, I've said it for years. You can't have a set 11 at this level unless you've got more contractors. That's not going to stop them becoming unhappy. You can't have just here's my 11, here's my sub, because you might get some game time, you might not, there'll be a little bit. I think you've got to keep everyone happy with giving them minutes and playing football. That's what they're here for.
Yeah. And when you get situations like this week where you've got to go Wednesday, Saturday, you've got to, you know, aside from just trying to keep people happy, you've also got to make sure you're managing people's load-ins, and you know, you can't have people. Can't afford, especially when it's cold like today, you can't afford to have tired people, you know, pulling muscles and get injured.
Because what did you have a training session on Thursday, or was it just a?
No. We had like I say, we had a lot of people pulling up with some knocks on Wednesday, so we did an alternative just to make sure that everyone's
Scrabble.
Yeah. This is all the word search. But yeah, no, we get bits done. It's never a complete night off, is it?
No. There's a lot goes into it.
Because what do you do between a night where you've had a good performance for a loss and like virtually you turning them around to come up and get them back up? What do you do in that gap? Is it just mentality? Is it just mentality you talk about? Dealing with?
I think it's being realistic and honest with them all the time. You know, I said it back at Welling when we won 1-0. It still wasn't good enough. It's being realistic and honest with them. We have discussions now. Everyone was happier with the performance, and they saw signs of success from what we want to do from Wednesday. So it's just building on that, isn't it? And George has done his bits with their active recovery and their food to make sure that they're in the best physical condition they can be in. But it's just keep constantly hitting home messages. At any time that they see something that's working, let's just reinforce it. Though. There it was. There was success there. We have to keep building it. I think we did today. On Wednesday, well.
Generally, we'll have the VO to obviously reflect on the past game, have a look at what went well, what didn't go well. The boys have consistent contact with George, who's talking to them about everything from diet to recovery.
And do the guys stick? Do they actually take it at this level? They'll manage the diet and that as well.
I think, to be truthful, if we're going to be brutally honest, some take it religiously, some take on parts of it, and some don't. And unfortunately, that can be the same with some of the coaching sessions as well.
Yeah.
You know, they're not elite professionals, but I think they appreciate the fact that the environment's as professional as it can be at this level.
I'm well impressed with that. I didn't think you get any of that.
This is what I said to you originally, that the two first appointments I made weren't players, they were Ivesy and George. But, what you get of Ivesy is unreal with commitment, discipline, understanding of the game, passion, coaching. With George you get the nutrition, you get the fitness, you get the massage, the rehab. Because if you don't get that, you're not going to get it, really, are you?
Yeah, because it's a bit of a tangent, but similar. When you've had a good day like this, do you actually then look? I know you analyse the game. Do you then give them anything that you spot that's negative, or do you just park that on a good day, or do you continue?
We're probably more negative than we are positive.
Oh, yeah,
we're 100%. We're talking about it on there.
Yeah.
We're always through the game. We're talking about the negatives stand out more than the positives. The positives are plus, and
You can't just dwell on the fact. And I think people that are prepared to take that on board when they've won, that's a good recipe, really. Isn't it?
you prevent losses and draws by focusing on the wins. If you're only reacting and getting upset and looking into the problem when it's a loss, then there's a problem, isn't there? It's too late.
Yeah.
So we'll look at it from the win.
Yeah, because
We've got to enjoy it though, won't you? At the end of the day, we're not professionals. We've all got jobs. We've all got this is our outlet. So we deserve to enjoy it. But also Luke, Luke drives a standard. We all want to succeed, and that comes from the gaffer. He sets the bar for us. We're all conscious. Hence why we all come here, because we all buy into that. And a part of that is reflecting on ourselves, reflecting on the information we've given. Have we got it right about Canterbury? I was sitting there eating my breakfast this morning, watching the last time we played them. My missus thinks I'm alright, sad. but I think we all feel like, and it does. It filters down from Luke. If we haven't done everything to give us the best possible chance, then what's the point? You either commit or you don't.
Yeah, because that sort of surprised me about the Erith and Belvedere game when their coach was saying, "Oh, we remembered they played 3 at the back before, so we thought they might go again." Whereas, that is preparation compared to what you guys seem to do. It's just like
I say,
Bielsa almost.
I don't have to ask him to do it. He does it. But that's why it was my first phone call. I want someone that's going to be the same as me. Otherwise, instead of being up 3 hours of the night, I'll be up 6.
So what will you do then this week for Canterbury? Will you have 2 training sessions for next weekend?
Yeah, that's it.
Because that's going to be I don't know, it can be a tougher game, but it's going to be another tough game.
Glebe, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glebe's going to be another tough game. The thing with Glebe that makes it hard is when we played them first time, there was an event, we were saying, that's happened within their camp that we knew was going to make that game difficult, and it proved to be. They've obviously had a change of managers to a degree right now.
Yeah, because they've won today.
Yeah, so it's going to be difficult again. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard to plan for, but we'll do as much as we can possibly do.
We're getting into the stage now where we've had eyes. I think with the exception of Erith Town, we've had eyes, and in fact I've gone and watched it. But we've actually got video footage where we've played pretty much everyone once now, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we can refer back to the Glebe game. Now let's be honest, they might have completely changed. That does happen at this level. I went and watched Punjab, and they only have 5 people actually played against us. So and I think to myself, was that a waste of an evening? Well, if you don't do it, you haven't even got a chance, have you? So you do what you've got to do.
Yeah, so it's just a case of build on today, take it forward, and hopefully get a game at home again, because it seems ages since we were last at home.
We forgot what it looks like.
Yeah.
That'll be good to be back in the cold then, won't it? It's slightly different when you're on the road. Really appreciate how many of you guys turn up.
Yeah, especially today. I don't think anybody was
freezing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's the other door, mate, I think.
Yeah.
But no, don't get. It'd be great to be back at home, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice to have 2 training sessions, get back at home, and get back in front of our fans, and hopefully not be as cold as today.
Yeah.
Well, As the lights
It's the
come
other
out,
door,
we may
mate.
as well stop
Yeah,
there
it's the
then.
other door, I think.
All right, we'll stop there.
Nice, thanks, Will.
Cheers.
Cheers, Will.